Good evening, friends. At the outset, of course, I should thank Indian Liberal Group, Rajaji Center for Public Affairs, Institute of Economic Education, Swadeshi Jagran Manch for organizing this evening program. Of this, of course, Rajaji Center appears to be a most appropriate, because if you go back to the 60s and 70s, fondly recollect the Swarajya articles which coined the major terminology in terms of permit, license, quota, raj. That is actually the original seed which has been sown for the concern which we are going to express today. So to that extent, the Dirghadarshi Rajaji actually foresaw some of the developments which could come about because of certain actions of the government of India then. So to that extent, I am extremely thankful for the organizers for organizing this particular talk. Issue is manifold and very complex actually. At the outset, one can say that I have been involved in this from mid-90s, and actually in the last couple of years there is a special module in my course on tax havens. This is something. So there is a huge cacophony of noises, why bring it now, Then as usual, how we all know how debates are conducted in India. Why was not it tackled by Shanmugam Shetty, who was the first finance minister? Then why was it not dealt by Morarji Desai? What Indira Gandhi did not do? Why Advani kept quiet? And all these type of debates. Something you bring out immediately, it will be told why was it not done quite a long number of years. The idea is very simple. If something like 8 years before, if I had arranged or even wanted to have a discussion on tax haven, I'm sure 2 or 3 people would have joined. All of us would have gone to a nearby coffee, location and had coffee and discussed it. But today, it has become a major issue, not due to Indian effort, primarily due to the efforts of Germany, France, now US, UK also, reluctantly. So the why now question is very simply answered. The Western economy is in deep distress. Everybody knows. It's actually shrinking. Europe is shrinking. US is also facing acute pressure. So 1 decade before, tax havens were considered as sacrosanct, privacy is important, secrecy is very, very critical, and these are the norms of banking. And the word used in those days is what are called financial centers. These are all called global financial centers. Some people used to also talk about innovative financial centers. Something very interesting, as in life, as in other social systems. What used to be innovative and creative and appreciated now has become blasphemous. Now today, the Germany and French are looking upon tax havens as something which required to be closed down. They are openly talking about the end of the era of tax havens. Even the tax haven people are also concerned about it. And US in the next couple of weeks is bringing out a law actually, which is going to be extremely stringent for US citizens. And some of you might have heard about it. Germany took the unprecedented step of asking its secret police to bribe officials of a bank of Liechtenstein, which is adjacent to Germany, to collect information on who are holding money in their bank, German people. This is something which Germany agreed with that later, and there was a hue and cry by Liechtenstein. Switzerland was furious because they thought next they could also be done the same thing. To the extent Swiss foreign minister, he told, send back the Benz car. I don't want to have anything to do with German. Germans are behaving like Nazis. It's a sort of a big war going on there. But German, of course, took it. This was in 2008 February. They had some German names. The top was the Deutsche Post, equivalent to our Post and Telegraph Director General. His name was on the top of the list. He was arrested and he was put to jail, and after that so many things took place. Last couple of months, every week 200 to 300 people are approaching the German income tax department, tell that we have been keeping funds abroad but we would like to now come out clean. So there is a huge amount of social disgrace, and German cabinet, after a lot of wrangling as usual, they are passing a bill also. That time what they did was they announced that we would be, any government interested, we would give the names to them. If then the US applied for it, Australia did that, Norway did that, Sweden did that. One country kept quiet. Then I wrote in Business Line that time that why don't we also ask, after all, I wrote a letter, but I was told only sovereign countries can ask. You are after all a unemployed or unemployable professor. We don't recognize, and I am not a sovereign country. I think all of you will agree. So either I have to acquire an island and declare myself to be a country. That is very complicated process. So anyhow, and then there was a silence, and then later on it took different shapes. I was given to understand that the leader of the opposition wrote a letter, and there has not been any. The point is, the why now question is redundant, because the now of it is not decided by us. The now of it is decided by the global powers, who were the champions of these tax havens and who have become, sort of completely there. So everybody is, so the onus is on us also to join this crusade. When everybody is, then immediately the question will be, right, why are we not taking active steps? Something very interesting, I should put it on record. These meetings like this in UK and USA should have been organized by CII, FICCI, management associations, business groups. They are all silent. If you are watching business TV and business papers, by and large you will think that nothing of this type is happening. If you read Financial Times, if you read Wall Street Journal, if you have been following New York Times, if you are following Forbes, every alternate day news is coming on tax havens. How to deal with that? What are the steps to take? What are the procedures to adopt? Various types of. But there is a eloquent silence in India. This is something very interesting. I have been closely watching the business TVs, whether they are going to, nothing is covered. Business papers, no. One or two, the paper, the Hindu wrote an editorial, one or two. Otherwise there is no, major. So there is, not only that, I get, large number of mails on this. So very, very interesting. The way, the way Indian middle class or educated people think, will be fascinated actually. Quite a lot of mails come from Chennai. And I can share it with you. The most cynical group in the country belongs to Chennai. I am very glad that, the meeting is organized here. One person is writing to me. He says, Switzerland, a lot of this, he has given his, what you call the address and position and other things. He is one of the war persons. War mean, what one can call the post-retirement, wisdom after retirement, that type of work. They are called war veterans, War veterans is those who have occupied very senior position but who have extraordinary amount of, so he is telling, good amount of activity of Switzerland is dependent on that. If those tax havens are closed, what will happen to Switzerland? I can't believe this. This fellow